I wasn't sure what I was going to do, so I wasn't prepared as what I should be. And I'm anonymous because some people do know me, but my little line at the beginning was going to be, tonight, Matthew, I'm going to be no one and nothing, someone trying to be someone, again. Because a lot of people, a lot of abuse survivors, victims, whatever you want to do, call yourself, have experienced that at some point in their lives. And sadly, too many are still feeling that now, created by the abusers and the abusing system that we sadly live within in this United Kingdom that I love. Now, the first poem I'm going to read you, and unfortunately I am going to read you poetry, is basically this is brought out because I'm one of these people that I've got a mental block, and so stuff didn't really, although it came out in my head with a few flashbacks, at the time I didn't know that's what it was, and it weren't until I was 32 that I actually had it confirmed that one of the flashbacks I had did actually happen, and unfortunately it went downhill from there. So that makes sense of this poem that I wrote. It's called Someone Once. He was someone once. It wasn't me. It was make-believe. Now I see what I don't want to see. It has not changed me. It has made me. That's why there was a make-believe. All in good inside. It's just so painful. This is someone I don't want to be. These are things I don't want to have happened to me. Oh no, there we go. Back to make-believe. I was someone once. Okay, I'm just going to have to find what we got next. Now, although this poem's not related directly to abuse, it just provides reasons why we live within a system that these things happen when we have a government and parliament full of MPs and everyone who, for some reason, their self-interest is the #1 priority. And while that's the case, then we really are up against it, though I will never give up while I breathe. This poem's called Familiar News. Have you watched News 24 as they find a million different ways of telling you what they're going to... Hang on, let me start again. Right, Familiar News. Have you watched News 24 as they find a million different ways of telling you what they've told you before, and it still sounds the same? Have you ever listened in at question time when they find a million different ways of telling you what they're going to do, but it all sounds suspiciously familiar to what they said they'd do before? Have you ever listened to that politician with hospital wards closing, prisons full, children doing crime, yet apparently we're better off than before? Have you ever wondered what fraction they used to come to that calculation? Myself, I think you must need some real imagination. Have you ever listened to the other political parties telling you you were better off with them, as you scratch your head and think back when they were in and think you weren't better off before? Have you ever noticed with MPs' fingers firmly in the till, there just doesn't seem to be the will to prosecute the full extent of the law, something that you and I, we'd be receiving, that's for sure. Have you noticed they say one thing, then do another, expect us to do the right, yet they do what the hell they like? I tell you, it hasn't gone unnoticed. Have we got enough time for me to fumble about here?
Yeah. I'm the boss. We can do what we like.
Okay. This was sorted out on the train on the way here, unfortunately. Should have been sorted out a couple of days ago, but I didn't know it was coming. Okay, right. This is just a message to go with the next poem that I'm going to read, and I just want to just read it out to you. It says, when you're within the silence, please remember, the silence is shared, but not the reason why. Our silence is because we were wronged, but theirs is because they are wrong. Never forget that, and then they haven't won. Yeah, just getting the pages and stuff, you know, because I'm such a professional here. Okay, right. Okay, not that long to go, probably about another half hour at this rate. Right, Within the Silence, this one's called. Clunk, and the shackles went on. I didn't even know it. What had I done wrong? Drip, drip, as my life fled away. It was all too late. Was it me who'd gone astray? Crackle and crack as your life starts to shatter. Deserve it or not, it doesn't matter. Click, an unfastening belt. but this is for real as you yelp. Smack, whack, crack, and not just words. We have the scars, but it goes unheard. A silent whimper of a love never lost, but these are people you should never cross. A smile, oh happy I am, what a lie, just like I'm from Siam. A telling of their love, like a bedtime story. Is it all made up? Hear, listen, and be aware. There's a lot goes on within this silence. Can you hear the scraping? Can you hear the banging? Can you hear the crying? Can you hear the whimpering from the one next door? Have you told yourself they must be really bad kids? Oh, that's what it is. But think, does anyone deserve to be treated like this? When enough say no, we'll break this silence. Yeah. Yeah, I just really wanted to mention, because some people, for some, I find it very upsetting when you find a survivor has taken a lot of courage and spilled their hearts and soul and written a poem and it's somewhere, and people are offended by it. Well, I'm offended by child abuse, and I think that should be your first priority. And it really upsets me. Very, 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 very brave people that are at great risk of themselves do that, and that you're up against that, and that's just totally and utterly wrong. Right, what have we got to do next? Right, now this is one of my new poems, and this one, I've wrote a few about silence, and this one is called It Was Silence, Not Defeat. You thought the silence defeated us, but in the end, even the silence couldn't contain it no more. And though for so long that silence so protected you, all within us began to grow and grow until it erupted. What will happen to us? Time does show, as an eruption of well-felt feelings begins to explode. A time we know some are lost, but those people are never forgot. For some it's too much to bear, despair, or to become a shell of who you were. But for all that and more that has happened and that is to come, some survive with an overwhelming voice. What are you to do? Live in your denial? We can't let that protect you no more. Sorry, I'm nearly finished now. Right. Are we all right, Tanya? Oh yeah, Oh, that was just a joke to start with. My name's John Harrison. Yeah, I'm nearly finished. Okay, right. Okay. Right. Now this one I just want to read out because I've only ever rung a helpline at all about 4 times in my life, and it happened to be the Samaritans, but there's lots of phone lines out there. And this particular poem just shows people the difference it can make. So please reach out for some help that may keep you alive long enough for you to actually get the help that will keep you alive forever. It's called So Sad Was I. I dialed a number, a soft voice spoke and talked gently. I spoke tentatively at first, but then not so hurried. This voice filled me with care. It comforted me that I could be heard. Listening intently, ever so gently, a voice of understanding. At last, a short time passed as I gasped, but the pain was no longer alone. This beautiful voice had filled me with warmth, and before I knew it, an hour was over. Time spent rebuilding my faith. I spared a thought for the others of me too, for I could have talked all night. This voice would let me. This voice could hear me. This voice could see me. This voice told me all this. It was then I knew that this voice said, I was someone. Just got one more. Is that okay? Just one more. Sorry. You just got that. Sorry. Okay, right. I'm sorry for the delay. Okay, right. This one I wanted to end on because there's a positive one about the silence. And it's to all of you survivors out there. Beyond the silence. The truth is now spoken and not just known. All the silence has been overthrown. Beyond the silence is the uncertain time, what happens to both of us for an unspoken crime. For some, the truth is too much to take, and sadly, is what leads them to their fate. For some, it's a zombie-like state that a world of abuse did create. For others, it's a continuous battle to find out who we are that had been so shackled. Others fight for justice after being thrown into a system creating an injustice of its own. But beyond the silence, there is something else, is to try and never give up, because you owe that to yourself. I know you do with Holly Craig. Sorry.
Thank you. No, that was wonderful. John Harrison is the poet. He's now... Thank you, John. Sometimes we can say in poetry things that you can't say any other way.